I know there is many that are going to be discussing a lot of different points about this episode. For one, how Satoru did not get with Kaio, or how Satoru got with Airi, or the overall execution of how the villain was taken down, to how the overall series was executed in general. I know there's going to be many talking about these points throughout this entire episode discussion, and I just gotta say right now, there's one thing that really stood out to me after watching this episode that I have been thinking about for the past hour now. I've been just sitting down and thinking about this, what I want to say. I even went back on the series just to make sure. And I came to my conclusion. Airi. She as a character, she seems to barely be a character that was, I guess, characterized properly. I mean, she was given a couple episodes, especially earlier on in the series, but when it came to her overall importance to the anime, especially to the conclusion of the finale of Boku dake, it felt like she was just thrown in there to give Satoru a girl to be with. That's exactly what it felt like to me when I finished this episode, and I'm left wondering, what type of importance did Airi really have to the grand scheme of things? I mean, she was shown in multiple flashbacks throughout the entire series when Satoru was trying to do something, but it was never really dived into and clarified properly, which leaves me, as an anime only that has not read the manga, left wondering why. Like, this right here, that right there has been plaguing my mind for the past hour. Her character, the way she just popped up at the end of the episode, she's like, hey, I'm here, I'm under the bridge, let's get together, we'll be, a husband and wife, and let's have a kid. That's pretty much what I got out of the scene. I'm like, it felt like she was just thrown in there just to give Satoru a girl, because, we know what happened to him. He got NTR'd by, Kaio, and, yeah, that was probably one of the most fucked up moments of the series, but still, it was a type of, I guess, thing that I'm just scratching my head wondering why. Now, getting off of that, let's talk about the villain, how the teacher was taken down. Now, the execution of this, I felt like it should have been a little bit different. Like, the overall way it was done, it wasn't bad. Like, it was definitely not bad. By no means was it terrible to where I'm just like, fuck this series. I'm not saying that. But I felt like the way it was done, or what I was hoping for, I expected something more dramatic, something more impactful, something that would, get your blood boiling, and you're like, oh my god, after that great, first episode of Boku dake, after what this bastard did to Satoru's mother when he, went in there, shot her, grabbed the phone while she's reaching for it, and just walks out. It was such a very impactful scene at the beginning of the series, and then seeing this conclusion with how he was brought down, he's just, he's handcuffed, he's taken away, it just doesn't feel satisfying. Personally, it doesn't feel completely satisfying as something that you would expect for someone that's caused so many issues and so many problems to Satoru and his people he loves around him. And I felt like that could have been done a little bit differently, but it was still a good ending. At the very least, we saw the villain in handcuffs and he was taken away for attempt of murder charges, which that bastard just getting attempt of murder charges, that's fucked up. He should definitely get murder charges applied to him, but since, there's really no murder in this timeline, they can't really do that. So it's really fucked up how he's just only getting attempt of murder charges, because he should get a hell of a lot more charges for that. I mean, he was trying to be a fucking pedo. That's exactly what he was trying to do. So I feel like he should get a lot more, but just attempt of murder charges, yeah. Okay, so enough of that. Well, let's talk about the finale, like the finale in general. Did it conclude the main point of the series, the plot? Well, for one, it did conclude the villain. For instance, the villain was captured, the villain is gone. So the teacher, he's in handcuffs. So that main plot point, discovering who the killer is and who murdered Satoru's mother and killed everybody in the past, that was discovered earlier on and was eventually concluded in this episode. For instance, the teacher being handcuffed and taken away. So that was one plot thread that was concluded. Another plot thread we have to wonder is the romantic relationships, which is, I think, many of us are going to be talking about when it comes to this finale. When it comes to the romantic relationships, a lot of characters got the girls they wanted. We get to see in, brief montage scenes throughout this episode with the songs playing, the ending song. You get to see different scenes and, like an epilogue of different characters. Even though there wasn't much audio, you can kind of tell what's going on. You get to see a bunch of characters with, a certain female character that was introduced throughout the series, or you see them with a couple or, a person that we already know and was being built up for a while. So, I mean, overall, when it came to the other characters' conclusions, I'm very satisfied. I'm glad Kaio is also satisfied as well, even though she, I wish she would have been with Satoru. I'm glad she's also happy and she is with, someone as well. Now, in terms of the romantic couple with, Satoru, I've already covered that, so I don't think I need to get into that. So I felt like all the others, when it came to the epilogue, it was good. Very good. Yes, it was good. It was decent. It was decent enough where I could say it was enjoyable. Now, besides that, however, I felt like the final episode was anticlimactic. I gotta be honest. It felt very anticlimactic to me. I mean, it was good, but when it came to the villain's execution of an Airi at the end with Satoru and stuff, and certain things like that, it felt very anticlimactic. I can't not deny that. I'm going to tell you the truth. It did feel that way to me. Now, is this a series I would recommend to others? Oh, hell yes. Hell yes. It was still fucking fun. No matter what, the journey to get to this point was very fun. I love seeing the struggles of what Satoru had to accomplish and what he had to do just to get to this very point on the finale of this episode. And I do still love the teacher's inner psyche of how he works with the spider and all that. But for the most part, like I said, anticlimactic. So, yeah, that is pretty much it. The final episode. I gotta say right now, though, if I had to rate this series, music and soundtrack and animation, on point. Very, very good soundtrack, very good music, and very good art and animation. So production-wise, it's very nice. Voice acting was spot on, especially. I love the voice acting of the series. And then adding in the overall enjoyment value, that's pretty damn high. I got a lot of enjoyment value out of the series. But then adding up like the ending conclusion, which can either make or break a series, I want to say I'm going to give this series a... This is just my opinion. I'm going to give this series probably a 7.5, maybe 8. Solid 8. Somewhere around in there. And, yeah. Good series. Just wish it would have been handled a little bit differently. I've been told that the manga is different and it has been changed. I might go check out the manga very soon to see how it is, to see how different it is compared to the, anime. Now, I have heard that the manga focuses a little bit more on Airi and kind of dives more into her character and making it, better for a potential romantic setup with Satoru, but that's all what I've heard from Shibits in, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, so I'll have to see for myself when I actually go off and read the manga. But yeah, it was still fun, very enjoyable, and nothing will take that away from my enjoyment of the series. Like, nothing will, no matter how the ending was. I still enjoyed it from start to finish, and I loved being on this ride with all of you. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.